Look at those medley of peppers. Those are sweet peppers and vinegar. And I am just doing my thing with a little rice and I got a little peppers and black peppers, sweet peppers, banana peppers, both red, green, orange, all that. Um, so what I'm doing today is actually incorporating my cooking therapy into my narcissism therapy. And what I'm doing is basically speaking on narcissism, all things narcissism. Currently going through yet another narcissistic breakup. Now, this time, it didn't take me that long. I got out with the quickness. I am well aware of what narcissists look like, and I'm not waiting around. This is the best stuff ever, by the way. I get it from Big Lots. It's like a vinaigrette, but it has that honey and that vinegar for apple cider vinegar for weight loss. At any rate, excuse my messy kitchen. I'm also making some of this stuff. I forgot what they call it, but it's cucumbers, tomatoes, and vinegar. The vinaigrette. At any rate, I am making this video to basically speak on narcissism and its effects on people. And there's a tremendous PTSD behind it. If you're not aware of exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm writing a book. I already wrote a book entitled Diary of a Ride or Die Chick, which speaks on my 10-year relationship with a narcissist. And if you know anything about narcissism, it is on a spectrum. There's moderate and severe, but then there's just the one that barely meets the criteria, and they just seem like assholes, pretty much. So my first narcissist, well, that wasn't my first narcissist, but the one I wrote the book about was a moderate, well, he was more of a asshole narcissist. He was just the one that gets on your nerves. He's all about him. But at the end of the day, he was a narcissist. So it took me a while to figure out that I was dealing with one. And now that I know, there's the book, there's the breakup, blah, blah, blah. At any rate, now I'm finding myself writing another book to help people. Because the more I run into people and I'm able to help them, and they're like, oh my God, I thank you. If it wasn't for you, I'd be probably dealing with this another 2-3 years. I'm already exhausted. So let's take a quick look at the narcissist playbook that I'm starting to write. And I start out with scriptures that we battle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. Ephesians. And the reason why I kind of blend spirituality into it is because there's a type of people. Now, you don't necessarily have to be a Christian to be an everyday person that tries to do the right thing. But a narcissist is definitely an evil person that is not operating under anybody's laws but their own. And the more you find out about them, you know exactly what I'm speaking of. Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirit to see if they are from God. For many a false prophet has gone into the world. And that one is from the English version. With all your heart, you must trust the Lord and not your own judgment. Always let Him lead you, and He will clear the road for you to follow. In other words, they say follow your heart. It's probably the worst advice ever. There's a little glare there. Follow your heart. No, because your heart deceives you. Because your eyes deceive you. Because in the real world, there are very good actors. And narcissist is actually somebody with low empathy. Some people say they have no empathy. And there may be cases where there is no empathy, but there's either no, low, or what we call cognitive empathy, and that is where they have learned how they should react. If somebody died, they should cry. If something is good, they should rejoice. And they've learned from other people, mostly victims. But they study their victims in all ways. They study their victims to see what is a breaking point for them, what will bring them to their knees crying. Because whatever brings them to their knees, that victim to their knees crying, will exalt the narcissist and make them feel grander than they already do. Because then they feel they have the power to control you like a puppet. Have been excited about, speaking on narcissism because I've been helping people one-on-one in coaching now, and it's really been an excellent both therapy for me, and it's a financial gain as well. And in many cases, it's just a freebie. I mean, I don't mind getting started with somebody and letting them see my authenticity and my sincerity. And then later on, if it becomes to be an everyday thing, then we'll set up a payment plan. But yes, narcissism is so prevalent now, and I mean, it may have always been, but it's out the closet with Donald Trump being a narcissist on the spectrum of, well, he's one of the it's a severe case, but he's also the overt one that a blind man could see coming. There's also the covert who flies under the radar, and these guys are wolves in sheep clothing. They can be the sweetest thing because what they're doing is mirroring what you would like to see, and they figure out what your thing is. If you're family oriented, then they are. If you like baseball, then they do. They may loathe the best baseball, but if you like it, they love it. I dedicated this book to the victims and survivors of abuse. I won't go all into it and read it, but the reason why I did this because I want people to know that they are not alone. I want them to know that this narcissism thing is real. Like, I mean, at first I had to keep going over the criteria, and I had to keep asking myself, am I overreacting? Even though I've had narcissists before, this covert threw me for a loop at first, initially. Because the first thing he says is, I will never leave you no matter what you do. And he meant that. Now, periodically he would push me away just to see if I would come back or just to see my reaction. And I'm not really good at the whole push and pull thing. So yeah, when he would push, I would stay gone. And then he would come and get me. But then I realized he was going to continue to come get me. And then at some point I was done. I was done with the push and pull. It was just too much emotionally and physically because he would argue. He wants to argue. He wants to, go. I mean, and then turn around and push and pull again. Leave. I don't need you. Then where are you? Why did you leave? It's so exhausting. And I know this video is exhausting too because I'm not using a steady hand and it just looks a hot mess right now. But I'm trying to keep the glare off of this as I'm reading to you guys. I think I know what it is right now. I got to take this flash off. There we go. And yeah. So the flash is off. So that may help a little bit. But this type of abuse, again, I said, flies under the radar, and especially the victims don't have any physical proof. And when you tell them the mental thing, it doesn't sound like a lot because it's not you. And the manipulation is done in such a way it creates a pattern. And to reinforce that pattern, the push and pull of falling back in love, falling in and out of love, like Alicia Keys' song, that adrenaline, that drop, that down low feeling, that up high feeling drop, it creates a I call it well, it's been called a a cocktail, of adrenaline and then the pitfall feeling. Like I'm up high, I'm down low, I'm up high, I'm down low. And you're falling in love like a drug addict with this cocktail. And you're addicted to that feeling. Not him, not her, but that feeling. All right. Now I'm going to move on down to, let's see, I decided to make it the playbook, about it. I decided to go in and, just to discuss different parts of what they do. So what they do is, we like to identify the players. Who's playing this game? There's going to be a narcissist. And then there's going to be an empath or a person with high empathy. A person who is caring, giving. It has to be that way. Otherwise, there's going to be hell to pay. Regardless, there's going to be hell to pay. But there's going to be real extreme fire in the beginning if we're dealing with two narcissists. Somebody's got to care for this game to work. So they're looking for someone who is not like them. They're looking for someone with the qualities that they lack. And they are predators. Believe this, people. They are predators. I mean, even down to, okay, they want you for what they want you for. Not for you, but for your qualities to gain, clout, to gain privileges, to gain resources. And they want you, and they want your friends. Every time you introduce them to a friend, they befriend them. Or either they see qualities in them that are going to be a problem. Like they're going to try to, keep you on track, keep you on game. And then they realize that they need to wedge you away from them. It's going to be people that they need to isolate you from. So pretty much they're going to isolate you from everybody, but some people will never get a chance to get back near you because they know that these people have a strong bond with you and they see them for what they are. This happened to me with my daughter. She was able to see immediately that there was a problem, and I couldn't see it for the world. And the problem is I'm a seer. I see things, but I couldn't see my own forest for the trees. And this really cost me. It cost me a lot. It almost cost my relationship with my daughter. If you got to know me, then that's major. But anyway, at any rate, we're back together now. And as soon as he saw that her and I were speaking, he started really showing himself. He didn't have anything to lose, and he had befriended my mom and my stepdad, and he really thought that he had it going on. But then in the end he said, well, fuck you and your mama, which told me he had plans for my mother as well. Gut feeling. The goal is to not even play this game with the narcissist. If you will take the time, if you will put in dating, what really goes into dating, without sleeping with a person, without investing your emotions, without just to see who they are, you won't have to go through this. Your gut feeling will eventually kick in, even if it doesn't do it right away. Not everybody has that instantaneous gut feeling operating for them. I usually do. Again, I said, but I was snowed very early, very quickly, and again, it was a proximity date. So I was working with him, and we were at a training. So my guard was way down. Like, this is somebody that I work with, and even though I don't necessarily date guys that I work with, and directly with, they can be in the same building or the same, company, but not necessarily with me. And so at this point, my guard was down, and he said, "Let the games begin." Signs and flags on the play. There were flags, there were signs, but I fell for it. Flattery, just superficial things that I thought, my God, they sound very superficial.